Boucher right in your face.
Welcome back to the Faedaway podcast, episode number 12. I'm your host, Fady, and I got my boy Zaed here with me. Zaed, how you doing, bro?
We good, man. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm hanging in there. Post All-Star feels kind of no basketball hangover. I'm missing it.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of weird. We've been lucky, in terms of having continuous basketball for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
When we're hit with a regular off season, it's gonna be really tough.
It's gonna be very, very weird.
It's gonna be painful.
It feels like there's a game, like a Raptors game at least, every other night, and then you have all the games going on through the week as well. So it's nonstop basketball, and
love it.
It's been
March Madness is starting.
Yeah, that's even more basketball, and all the conference tournaments are going on right now, right? So then it's gonna be mad interesting. Everyone always gets in the festive mood to make a bracket, and you see how many you can guess right. It's tough, man. It's tough for college.
I know we want to get into talking about the All-Star weekend. Because I wanted to see how you felt about everything being on one day.
Mm-hmm.
The pregame, the halftime thing, obviously the inevitable snub. But I think we wanted to talk some raps before we get into that. Just
not much on the Raptors.
A little bit about what happened before the break, All-Star break, with nobody on the roster available.
So half the roster and half the coaching staff even literally out due to COVID protocol and all that good stuff. So it was definitely going to be a tough stretch. They had the first matchup against the Pistons, and that one, it seemed like the Raptors couldn't get anything, and then the Pistons were only hitting everything. So you're not going to win in that case. And then off a back-to-back, next day they get the Celtics, and they play much better. The bench guys show up because it was all bench guys. It was only Kalo and Norm for the starters. Bro. Sorry?
Dwayne Casey had him ready.
Exactly. Yeah, for real. Dwayne Casey, if he comes for one game during the season, it's going to be any Raptors.
Oh, yeah. That's where he comes. That's where he plays.
That's where he plays, and that's where he shows up. But then the second game was better effort, but you're facing the Celtics short-handed. You're bound to lose.
Tough. Right? And it came down to the end, too.
Yeah.
So it was they still ended up playing great defense, and there were a lot of little bright spots. I think Boucher had a career high that night.
Yeah,
31.
so a couple highlights. He had 30 career high 30 points. Terrence Davis had 22. They both came off the bench.
Yeah, big time.
Kyle Lowry, career high 19 assists. Stanley Johnson.
We need more if Terrence Davis can be this guy who maybe can explode for 22 in a starting role, but can get you 12 to 15 consistently.
Yeah,
that'd be such a blessing to have on your roster, wouldn't it be?
Off the bench, man, a reliable guy off the bench. That's what the Raptors are missing as well. So we'll see if somebody can do on the bench, man. We'll see if somebody can do it.
Yeah, for sure. So not much else to talk about there. I know it's they have the 7th hardest schedule heading into the All-Star, the second half of the season.
Of course.
They got a lot of back-to-backs, and they're 1-5 on back-to-backs this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Being on the road, it's tough. We're middle of the pack right now. I think, especially now with a big thing that we're going to talk about later with the Brooklyn Nets, this season is a write-off. You're not going to win a championship. You're probably not going to make the finals at all.
Yeah.
If even the conference final. I don't even know at this point if the Drummond move would do anything.
No, I don't think so.
You know what
all.
I mean? At this point, it doesn't do anything. So you might as well look for some picks, look for some young guys, someone you can build around, not a guy who's going to walk at the end of the year. So I don't know. There's not much else to talk about the Raps.
No.
How's your All-Star weekend, man?
Yo, honestly, judging by people's reactions and judging by Twitter's reactions, it looked like the Oprah interview with the Royal Family whole tea was more interesting than the All-Star game. Honestly,
popping.
It was honestly, the NBA I think did a good job of still getting something done, during COVID and all the restrictions they had, all the bubbles they had, and not allowing basically guys who weren't all-stars to be there. There's only the three dunk-off contestants that were in there. They did a decent job, but if you want to go, let's talk about the dunk competition, because I think that was the biggest event that people hoped would be the best event. And it didn't really.
No, it didn't pan out at all. The 3-point contest was the best one, the most exciting one.
Yeah.
But the dunk contest, the first things first, Cassius Stanley got robbed.
Off that first dunk.
That was the best dunk in the whole contest.
Honestly, I liked Obi Toppin's dunk, man.
It was.
I
liked
liked
that
cool. That first dunk. I liked it,
but it's not better than Cassius. Cassius's.
I do think it was mad underrated by them, and I don't know how they did that, because there was other
44,
dunks ranked higher.
Man.
Yeah, it was
44.
It was sad.
That was disrespectful. And then they gave Obi a 48. There was no way it was 4 points better.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't even I'm surprised Anthony won. I thought Obi Toppin was gonna win. He had better dunks than him.
I was talking to producer Kiro before we started.
Yeah.
And he saw the graphic that Mac had made about Anferny.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, like is this guy's name like Anferny? Like he thought it was like Anferny. I was like, no, like it's Anferny. He's like Anferny, like Anthony. I was like, yeah, his nickname is Ant. Yeah, that's legit. I'm not joking. His nickname is Ant.
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Anthony.
So,
but it's Anferny. I'm not joking. Yeah, PK didn't know. You didn't know either.
No.
Wow. Yeah. So Anthony Simon somehow walked away. He looks 12.
He looks really young. He looks really young. But he gets up. He gets up. Don't get it wrong. I just don't think his dunks were better than
I just don't think he was able to buy drinks after he won.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. He literally looked like he was 12, bro.
Yeah, it was tough.
But it was a snub. A
man,
low-key snub.
They gave the guy more points than Cassius Stanley for catching the ball and dunking it.
Yeah.
He put the ball up. Oh, creativity. I'm
also not
the
a
guy
big
is
fan.
twisting and turning and putting it through his legs, and you're going to tell me just catching it. Everybody has bunnies now, man. Everybody.
I'm also not a fan of the let me wear a jersey of some guy who did it before me and just copy what they did. And
I'm okay because it's always the Raptors.
It is always the Raptors.
So I'm okay with it.
It's McGrady. Like, I would love that. But like, it's just like a cheap shot. Yeah, there it is. And this one behind me too. But it's like a cop out. You know, like those other guys. You know, Cassius Stanley came out with something that was creative and it was different, and then he got penalized for that, I guess, right? He didn't get as many points as he should have. So I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. It was rough. It was rough.
The grading system is usually off, anyways.
Yeah.
And this year they're like, we're just gonna pick whoever we one dunk final.
Yeah, it was rushed. Rushed. They had to squeeze it in to halftime.
But let's talk 3-point contest. That was exciting.
That was fun.
Mike Conley came through. I was a surprise, man.
They got this guy last minute, and the way he performed in that competition.
Conley was a surprise. 27 to 28. Those were two really good rounds, but the GOAT.
There was no doubt.
Came down to the last shot, and the GOAT just stood there holding the follow through.
It was funny because every time he would miss, I'd be like, "Oh, he needs the next one." He hits the next one. He would miss again. I'm like, "Oh, he needs the next one." He hits the next one.
He hit both the long ones in that turn.
He's so good.
Sprite 3-pointers, 3-pointers.
Yeah. And then
he's the GOAT, man.
And obviously the show he put on the next day from shooting from range, him and Dame was
in the game, yeah.
The game was
pulling
was
from
decent.
half.
The game was fun.
Can you imagine a backcourt of Damian Lillard and Steph Curry?
And then LeBron. I actually love that. I love that they played on the same team. Like, that was sick.
But can you imagine, like, if Dame had, like, an ounce of sellout in him? What could happen?
Yeah.
Because Dame is crazy, bro.
Dame would building
the guy
a super
pulled
team
from
with him.
half.
Yeah.
Twice.
To end the game.
Twice.
To end the game, too.
He pulled from half in the first half. He's like, I'll just test it out. Bang.
It's not fair.
Pulled from game. Yo, he is everywhere where there's a game winner.
Oh, yeah. That's his thing, bro. That's his thing. The game time, everything.
Yeah, I think he's literally the most clutch player since 2013. It was like statistically.
Yeah, he's had a bunch of game winners.
In the last couple minutes. Yeah,
man, he hits big shots.
He is incredible, man. It was a fun game. I mean, Giannis got the MVP 16 for 16.
And he was hitting threes.
Even though he missed a shot and they somehow called it a foul. Somehow.
Yeah.
But whatever. 16 for 16. He banked a couple threes.
Yeah.
How can you not love Giannis? Giannis is the most lovable guy in the league. Like, he's just like a funny guy. Like, you know, when they said the bank's been open, he's like, yeah, it's extended hours.
Yeah.
He's just a funny guy, man. He's a sweet guy, you know.
All the guys, it looked like a good group of guys in general. Like, they all looked like they were having fun. They actually, it wasn't competitive because, you know, Team Durant, you know, Kevin Durant built a team that was.
He drafted a dud, bro.
That had no chance. He
drafted a doozy.
Team. And LeBron's team was just too stacked. He was just too stacked. So like they swept all the quarters.
Yeah.
And then it was just.
He drafted a doozy and didn't even bother showing up for the contest.
After the interview, he's like, "Yeah, I'm confident in my team. I got a bucket. Like, all these guys can give me a bucket. They cannot."
But to be fair, a lot of his players didn't show up because of COVID.
2 of them, yeah.
Ben and Devin Booker because he got hurt.
Oh, D-Book, yeah.
D-Book, yeah. Ben, and Joel.
Yeah.
So they're pretty decent players, but I don't think they're gonna sway the what's it called, the pendulum.
Yeah, but it's also a game anyways. Who cares about the competition? It
was nice to see guys pull from half and make in. CP3 caught a lob.
Dame caught a lob. That was sick. That was
exciting. It was exciting. It was exciting. I'm not gonna lie. They did rush it, and it kind of seemed at first like. And LeBron didn't even play the second half. He just called it in.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this yesterday. But LeBron on the break hit like a crazy reverse dunk, like where he like fully double pumped it.
Yeah, easily.
And we're thinking like, man, now you look at a game where like Carmelo Anthony dunks it.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, Melo, he's dunking again.
Throwback, vintage.
They're the same age.
Yeah. No, he's older. Melo's older.
Like
Same-
CP3
same number of
catches a
seasons.
lot. You're like, wow,
Yeah.
CP. Dwayne Wade, buddy.
He's done.
Dirk.
Yeah.
Jokic,
Bro,
he's in his prime.
LeBron is built different, man. But what's funny, after that dunk, he like the next 2 times around he like rim stuffed and he missed. Like he kind of was just like underestimating it. But man, like the way he moves for a guy who's year 17.
Zion was
crazy.
super underwhelming, bro.
He missed a
And
lot.
they threw him in the starting lineup. Are you kidding me?
It just further proves the
Further
theory,
proves our
bro.
point, man.
Come on, man.
The NBA, I said this on Twitter. The NBA loves Zion just as much as the refs hate DeMarcus Cousins.
That was a good comparison. I like that.
And neither
comparison.
party cares who knows. Neither one.
Yeah.
The NBA is just letting you know up front. Yeah, we're gonna throw him in the starting lineup. Are you kidding?
You think they'll push LaMelo as he goes? LaMelo Ball.
Maybe it depends on how marketable he is. It's all about the guaps.
He's marketable.
I know.
He is marketable, bro.
Zion and LaMelo are going to be the next heads of the NBA.
Imagine the team up.
Yo,
Later on in their
can you
career.
imagine? There's going to be a time where there's going to be kids telling you LaMelo Ball is way better than LeBron ever was.
No way. That's crazy to think about that. That is not. There's no way that's gonna happen.
And then you're going to be called the old head for defending it.
I wonder who that player will be, though. You know what I mean? Like who's gonna be the argument, the next argument?
It's all it depends on health, man.
Yeah.
It all depends on health because if these kids can play, there's Zion, there's LaMelo. I don't know. And then like Damian Lillard came out of nowhere.
Luka's up there. He's still young. There's a bunch of guys. Giannis is
Luka,
still
I feel
young
like
too.
they're all the same age, but I feel like Luka's like 28, but he's actually like 21.
But he's stupid young.
He showed up to the skills challenge like didn't even stretch.
They didn't want to play. Yeah, he didn't want to do it. He
didn't even stretch.
You know
He
what it
walk
was?
through it.
You know, like when you're scared you're gonna lose, so you're just gonna pretend like you don't
Dog
care
it.
and dog it just so that everyone knows you dogged. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
That's a good theory. Good
Yeah.
theory. Any other highlights you want to talk about from the All-Star game?
No, it was a good game. The game was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty entertaining. They did a good job on that, but they rushed it all.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
the synopsis.
Classic NBA. You gotta squeeze as much money out of the fans as you possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do mid-season awards because we were talking like, hey, it's All-Star break, roughly halfway through the season. So let's do mid-season awards. We're gonna do MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Sixth Man, and Most Improved Player of the Year. So do you want to start from the bottom and go up to MVP?
Yeah, let's do that. That's pretty.
Okay, let's do. Okay, so
what's the bottom? Most improved or rookie of the year?
MIP.
Rookie.
Okay, let's do Rookie of the Year.
It's without a doubt.
Hey, that one's it's a wash.
LaMelo Ball.
He's
He ran
literally
away with
leading
it.
every statistical category. He's winning games.
It's stupid.
He's in the
It's not.
playoffs. He's exciting.
He's so good. I'm so happy he's so good.
Yeah, he's exciting. He's shooting like bonkers numbers, like 43% from three as a starter.
Oh,
Incredible.
smooth. Like,
And just,
It's
the
a highlight.
biggest thing is that his teammates like to play with him.
that is the most shocking one out of all of them.
That's the biggest thing because he came in there and stole a couple positions.
yeah.
Like
and
Devontae
he started.
Graham,
He
like
started
Terry
now.
Rozier's taking the spotlight away from him a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're coexisting. He's giving everybody their shots, and Terry's having a good
And
year.
man, don't forget they got Gordon Hayward too, who's a vet, like established vet. So
Yeah.
for them to all like him it says about his
it's
personality. A lot about his
consensus
personality.
Rookie of the Year. I think it would be
No
a
doubt.
shock
No doubt.
if it was anything otherwise. Let's do MIP then.
Yeah. MIP, I think.
All right, Most Improved. Do you have yours?
There's a bunch of names I want to throw in there, and it's actually a lot tougher this year to give out. It depends how you want to look at it.
I know what you're gonna say.
Christian Wood. Oh. Christian Wood.
Then you're gonna be shocked at what I say, but go ahead.
Christian Wood. When you really look at MIP, it's who improved the most. It's very hard sometimes because sometimes situations improve the most, and that's what helps. But for him, man, he's averaging 22, 10, and one assist.
Yeah, but he's missed like 15 games.
Yeah, up to midpoint though, I think he's been. And look at them without him. Look what's happened when
they're
he's
bad.
been out. They're awful without him. So for a guy who came literally from nothing, could barely play at the end of the bench on the Pistons, for him to come to a whole new situation and be this impactful, and be able to help them win games, I think is deserving of that.
I'm shocked.
I had many names. You know what I wanted to also say? Okay, I mean, like, I don't want to take away from yours.
Okay, on the count of three, we'll say it at the same time.
Who I wanted to say?
Yeah. Okay.
1,
3, 2, 1.
Jamie
Julius
Grant.
Randle.
Wow. I love that pick. Love it, but it goes against everything I think you would say. Remember the Victor Oladipo MIP pick?
Yeah.
How he went from a good season, a good draft pick, to just becoming an all-star. And I think you were upset about that. Like, that's not really most improved. I could be wrong. But I think
I don't remember that.
But Julius Randle would be a good one. It's just
He's an all-star.
I had him here, but
They're winning games in New York.
I get it, but for somebody who knew he was good before, it's very hard to give.
But
him
he
MIP.
wasn't good before.
He was.
That's the issue.
He averaged 19, 9, and 3 last year.
Okay, but that's
not
different.
that's not scrub numbers.
That's different than what he's putting
still,
up right now, and
it's
he's
definitely
winning
different.
games.
But he's winning games, which was also good. But new coach, whole new system, and his guys are getting better too. So for him, I knew he was good.
Jeremy Grant was my other one for sure, but they're just not winning. So it was tougher because I'm looking at Julius Randle, but Jeremy Grant pretty much went from a role player to the guy.
23, 5 and 3, man.
So there's definitely a huge debate for him.
If Julius gets it, bro, I would love that. I think that's great.
I would I want to give some flowers to Chris Boucher.
Yeah, I had him on here too.
Chris Boucher's got to be in that list, what he's done, especially
also
off the bench
another guy that I think is on. I don't know why he's not really on the list, but Colin Sexton is having a great season, man.
Yeah.
So he's another guy.
That's a big one too.
That's a big
I think
one.
he's been 25 plus a game for every game, but 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, man. And
he's shown up.
They were winning in the beginning, but not anymore. But
defense, they started winning again because Jared Allen is going bonkers. They won 4 or 5 games.
So
they beat some pretty good teams.
There's a bunch of guys who kind of deserve it this year, which I think is a great direction.
Testament
for
to the league, man.
Yeah, great direction.
Testament
for the
to the league, and I'm sure if we went really through it in depth, you could find
a lot more
as
guys,
well.
Yeah,
So Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown had a big.
Jaylen Brown's made a huge leap.
Yep,
huge leap. So
great two-way player too.
A lot of different options for MIP. 6th man of the year. This one was a little bit tough too, in my opinion, because I also consider Chris Boucher for it. But for me, it's got to be Jordan Clarkson.
There's no doubt it's Jordan Clarkson.
Winning games, Utah, he's just a bucket.
Averages 18 off the bench, and he's the second highest scorer on that team. So he's impacting winning basketball.
That's crazy.
So he has total 646 bench points on the season. The next guy behind him has 141 less than him. He's just a walking bucket.
Yeah,
great scorer. I love to see. I love him. I love to see that
but
growth
Chris
that he's
Boucher, man, has been pretty good. But the issue with him is the lulls that he's had.
Yeah,
and Jordan Clarkson's just been a bucket every single night.
Mm-hmm.
And he got unlocked in the bubble last year, and I'm happy to see that.
Yeah,
he was on the Woj pod. I like his personality. He's kind of
really.
It's kind of funny. You wouldn't expect that, but he's got some good stories. Good Kobe stories too, because he played with Kobe in his last year.
That's sick.
So he was, he's good. But I was a little bit shocked, but he's definitely the pick.
Yeah,
for sure.
At this point, yeah.
Coach of the year. That's a toughie.
There's a bunch of good ones, man, and I once again, how do you look at it? Do you give it to a guy because he's first in the league or first in the conference? For me, bro, Tom Thibodeau.
Sure, it's a great pick, but I think Quinn Snyder.
I think he's going to end up getting it because he's first in the league and what they're doing if they end first in the league.
They're murking the league. Tom
Thibodeau, man, what he did with that Knicks
for
team
sure
is insane. Is insane, man.
What about Steve Nash?
He's got the best 3 players,
4
top 10. Now another guy coming
not
in.
Best
so
4,
not
best
best 4, but
best 3.
Best 3, 3 out of the top.
How
10,
about Doc
arguably.
Rivers?
Doc Rivers is another guy you can give it to. I wouldn't be mad at that because Doc, he's turned a tough situation into a very good situation.
Ty Lue?
No. If you're not the top, then you know. That's what.
Why does Ty Lue never get respected as a coach?
No, but the Clippers,
for me included,
the Clippers should be top 1 or 2 in the West.
He just looks like when you show up and you get a parent to stand in. That actually feels like when Ty Lue coaches a team. When he coached Cleveland, you're like, come on, you're not coaching.
I know.
Last year, we looked at him, we're like, Doc's coaching this team. This year, it's like, he's not coaching. They're doing what they did last year, but better.
That's the repetition he's got. I think Doc might have even called them out on that, saying there's no difference between the guy that.
It was when PG came out and said they were running me like a pick and roll or ISO shooter or something.
Yeah.
He's like, well, if Ty Lue's taking over, I hope you're not. You don't have your hopes up too high. So, there's a lot of viable options. You definitely are not giving Ty Lue those flowers, but. Quinn Snyder, Tom Thibodeau is a great option as well.
Doc's a good option too. So there's a bunch of guys. Steve Nash, I guess because they're up there, but
no, I don't think so.
Nah, I would.
You have too good of a team.
Yeah,
you have too good of a team
top 3
to be considered.
And Mike D'Antoni's his assistant, so stop. Come on, that's a very good assistant to have too.
We didn't put this on here, but I'll throw it on you now. GM of the year.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's been some interesting moves, man.
That is very tough.
I'm gonna keep it on brand with the episode and what we're talking about. I'm gonna say Leon Rose from New York.
New York. That's a very good one.
Like coming into that literal dumpster fire.
Yeah, and turning it all
with
around.
that dumpster fire of an owner and just turning it around, hiring good people. Actually, you know what? I'll give you one more. And I think we're not giving enough flowers to this team, but James Jones from Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix. Yes. That is a very good pick.
James Jones.
That is a very good pick.
I want to give them flowers because him, Monty Williams, what they're doing in that organization, another team with a dumpster fire of an owner, and the stories about the goats and the crap that they left on. You hear about that story?
Yeah.
But anyways, Phoenix has got to get some flowers, man. Even for Coach of the Year consideration, Monty Williams.
That's a good one.
Got to be considered because right now they're second in the West, third overall in the league. Their young guys are incredible. Their drafting is looking great. They look
different
like
league.
Built.
It's a different league.
James
now,
Jones
bro.
has built a fantastic team. So I would.
That's actually sick. Who would have thought James Jones? That's really good.
James Jones has built a fantastic team, and I think that they're building a culture there. And I would love to see him get that award. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I saw the rumors about Devin Booker going to the Knicks, but of course that's just hearsay.
D-Book.
Don't do
Man.
it. No, I know. I don't know if it was like real rumors or just like
hates
something
winning.
you scroll. I know. But that'd be hilarious if they like just finally turn it around and D-Book just like, all right, I want out.
What if
Can
he
you
actually
imagine?
hated winning because he's like, yeah, I just want the spotlight. That's
No
a possibility.
way. Can you imagine?
Want the cash, want the spotlight.
He didn't want to get doubled in runs, so
Yeah,
who knows
he
what
doesn't
he's
like
about.
basketball.
Yeah, he doesn't like basketball. Yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year. This one is a consensus, I think. For me, it's Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, me too.
He's like third or second in the league in blocks. They're like the third best defense in the league, and he anchors the defense. He's everywhere. He's actually like, he's massive.
Yeah. Yesterday
when
was different, bro.
he extends those arms and he stretches it, like he's in defensive position.
Yeah,
it's a big boy, man.
and it's hard to go against a guy who's averaging a career best 2.7 blocks, and then
I thought we were gonna say 2.7 points.
No.
Like, damn,
2.7 blocks.
You're dissing.
2.7 blocks, and he's won it already twice before. So like, how do you not give it to him again? Apparently, the runner up or who else is in conversation is Ben Simmons for his perimeter defense and being able to guard all five guys. So that's another consideration, but I think Rudy Gobert is going to be
Ben Simmons is a good one, man. The Phillies pretty good defensively. They're top of the East.
Fred VanVleet, all defense though.
I'm not mad at it, and I think Fred VanVleet all defense for sure. Not
bro.
Defensive Player of the Year, but all defense for sure.
Absolutely,
no questions, sir. And then the last but not least, the number one award of the year, the MVP, the most valuable player of the year. You go first.
Another one of those things, but Joel Embiid. At this point, Joel Embiid, he's averaging 30.2 points a game. That's second in the league compared to a guy, Bradley Beal, who their team isn't doing as well as his team is.
Yep.
Fifth overall on rebounds with 11.6 a game, and he leads the league in free throw attempts with 11.6 a game. That's a lot. And people just can't guard you at that point, right? So
30 and 12.
Franchise 30 and 12, shooting 52, 41, 85. Not bad for a big man.
Sorry, say it again. 50, 40, 85?
50, 40, 85.
Wow. For a center.
For a center, not bad at all. So there's other guys that you can put in there as well. You put in LeBron in there every single year. There's no doubt about that.
Not this year. Because they've been a dumpster fire with... I'm saying
without
dumpster
AD.
fire too much tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that word anymore.
Yeah.
They've been trash without...
AD.
Without AD. They've actually just not played well at all. They've lost a lot of games. But, man, the Lakers and LeBron teams are in that phase where it's like you can't really... Like, the regular season is so irrelevant.
Just practice.
It doesn't matter.
It's practice.
It's figuring it out. So I'm not going to, focus too much on the Lakers, but I don't think he's going to be considered for MVP this year.
Yeah.
I know he's in great shape and fantastic, but his age is definitely showing.
At times it shows. It's really scary, actually.
Yeah, that like before the All-Star break, there was that game where he just kept breaking shots, and it was just tough. But I wouldn't consider him in there. Jokic, I think, has got to be considered.
Yeah, Jokic is a big one
for
too.
what he's doing. I think he's having a fantastic season, averaging just near a triple double. And isn't it? You know what I was thinking about the other day? I'm like, it was only a couple years ago where we were on this podcast saying the future of the big man is in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we had a whole episode on the future of the big man.
Yeah.
And fast forward a couple of years,
they're dominating.
The top two MVP candidates are centers. You look at the skills challenge last night in the All-Stars.
Oh,
who are the two finalists? Vucevic and Sabonis.
Yeah.
Two bigs.
Two bigs.
What is going on?
They changed the game. They changed how
Talk
they play.
about adjusting.
They changed how they play. They don't play around the basket anymore, man.
And it kind of it makes you notice, like, if guys that big figure it out,
that's tough.
they're unstoppable.
And if they're mobile, if they can move and they're athletic,
they're
too,
unstoppable.
tough.
Like, Jokic does anything that he wants.
Yeah.
He's just terrible on defense, but he does anything that he wants.
Yeah. Joel does anything he wants as well, man. This season is killing it. A guy like Giannis,
Vooch is having
who's
a
big
year.
too, not a big man, but 6'11", you talk about? That's
Yeah.
that's a huge dude. Kevin Durant is 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah.
Maybe even taller. They say so.
I was listening to Eddie Johnson. He's the play-by-play guy for Phoenix. He used to play in the league. And he was talking about, like, Ayton and what Ayton's got to do to become that guy, because Ayton's like 7'2".
But he can't move.
He can
that
move.
Same
I think
way,
they
I
just
think.
What he was saying
Not
for Ayton, he's
fluid.
like, you need to get in there and bang, like, hit, like, be aggressive,
Yeah.
be intimidating, like, scare people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of bright
That's cool, man.
spots.
I like that big man.
James
back.
Wiseman too.
I like the big men are back. It's not the traditional 5 anymore, but these guys are just as skilled as the guards
They're
now.
cooking,
It's crazy,
Yeah, this guy's unstoppable, Joel Embiid.
bro.
Like I mean, I don't want to say that because the Raptors did slow him
they
down
stop him,
significantly.
yeah.
But he is fantastic when he's got it going. He's a great shooter. You can't guard him. He's too big.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is, man. My MVP, I'm not upset with the Joel Embiid. I would probably give it to Jokic more because I think you're in the West. It's a lot harder. So I don't like his standing is what it is. They had a rough start. They're doing a lot better now. And Jokic is just the GOAT.
You just like him a lot.
I like his passing. I mean, like, it comes down to, like, preference at that point because both make very great cases. Like, Joel Embiid's top of the East. And
you give it to winning at the end of the day.
yeah, 30 and
that's the
12
thing.
is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
what Jokic is doing is insane. Like, 45 plus every other night. Like,
What I'm disappointed about is I thought this was going to be Luka's season to step up,
Luka's
but
out of shape.
I
Dude.
think we forget how he's just young. Like he's just
He's out
young.
of shape, but he's still killing it. But it's like, yo, you're too young to be out of shape, but still killing it. Like, that's like James Harden. James Harden's in that out of shape, but still killing it phase. But he's like 32.
He's a vet. He figured it out. Luka's 20,
Luka, bro,
21.
you're
What is he
21,
doing?
man.
Come on.
You can't show up to the skills challenge and walk it. You know,
He had to dog it, bro. He had to. He didn't want that pressure. He wasn't ready. He's too young for that pressure. He didn't want the pressure, man. But
It was tough.
I thought he was a guy that was really gonna like have a splash of a season, especially how he performed in the bubble and last season. We're like, yo, this guy, this is gonna be his year. But I think just too early. Still.
Not yet.
Too early. Too
Not
early.
yet. All right, so let's move to the Brooklyn Nets. Talk more in depth there because they made a pretty well. They've
go.
been making pickups,
Yeah.
but they waived Shump, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what
what
that
the
was.
what the heck happened there,
Yeah.
but they picked up Shump, waived him 3 hours later, and then they still have Robertson, who's played Roberson, whatever. He's played a couple games.
Yeah.
They made a splash this weekend.
They had to.
Blake Griffin
For
got bought out by
Yes.
the Detroit Pistons. He left $13 million on the table.
Worth it. Worth it.
He left $13 million on the table to leave, and he ended up in Brooklyn to play for the Nets, reuniting with one DeAndre Jordan and teaming up with Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving to make a starting lineup of Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. And then your bench is Jeff Green, Andre Robertson, Joe Harris, Shamit, TLC.
Oh, Joe Harris off the bench to be so good. That's amazing.
This
It's gonna be
team,
so good.
I don't know what else Kevin Durant needs to do to secure a championship.
Yeah, it's so true.
I don't know why this man can only win while stacking the deck the complete hardest. And I'm a hater, and I'm going to go down saying every single one of his rings will have an asterisk. I don't care.
But he's not building this one really.
What are you talking about?
Like,
bro?
it just happened, bro.
It's literally OKC
At least he
2.0.
didn't-
He's building this team.
At least he didn't like go to Golden State, who was already built. Like, he's still got to figure the situation out.
Figure what situation
You got
out?
a brand new coach
Figure out
too.
how to incorporate a 30-point triple-double guy and
It's-
another 30 guy.
It's harder. It's harder than Golden
It's not
State.
harder.
At least. Listen, are they stacked? Yeah.
The star power is insane.
Does Blake Griffin solve their defensive issues?
But
No.
they don't
But
have any issues. They're winning.
It's just another asset for them to have.
They don't
and
have issues. I was the one saying that they need defense.
They got Blake. That's
Why do I look stupid? They didn't play a lick of defense, and they went like 10-1.
Wow, that's a. And I hope Blake Griffin like just performs like how he performed.
Can you imagine he starts catching lobs? He's had 0 dunks this year.
I don't think. I think he'll start to perform like how he did when he first got to Detroit. Like he.
A lot of people are saying,
stretch
remember
4.
VC, how VC dogged it to get out of here?
And then he went to the Nets and still
just killed it?
That'd be sick. Are you kidding me? He's 31 years old, though. He's a bit older, but man, that's such a good addition. That's such a fire starting lineup. That's amazing.
Man.
They're going to the finals.
I don't care what anyone has to say, man.
They're going, bro.
Kevin Durant is soft. He's just soft. I don't want to hear it.
I have no argument. I'm not saying,
so annoyed, man.
I'm not saying he's not, but
all this to beat a 36-year-old?
Yeah, he's not only he's Zeus in the NBA, bro. He's not just a 36-year-old, bro. Are you kidding me?
Man, he's
the
Zeus,
king.
sure.
He's the
But are
king.
you kidding me? Like this kind of roster, these guys are weak, man.
Yeah, we're in that era now. You have to team up everybody.
That's whack.
That's
whack.
My hope is that the European guys team up.
The itches.
And that would be incredible. Like
the itch squad.
Doncic, Jokic, Sabonis. You bring those guys up on one team and then add all the other.
Bro,
Bogdanovich.
I've thought about this.
That would be an
your
incredible team.
Your point guard would be Luka. Your 2 would be Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
Your 3 would be Bojan Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
Your 4 would be
Sabonis.
No, be Vucevic.
Ooh, Vooch. Sabonis
You have
on the bench.
Vucevic and Jokic as your 4-5.
That's big though. That's a really big lineup.
Oh. Yeah,
With the
we're not
4-5?
losing. We're not losing. And then you have Sabonis off the bench, sure, because why not?
Why not?
And we have Boban Marjanovic, because why not?
Why not?
Just give me another 17-footer.
Cool guy too, a nice guy.
And yeah, why don't we just we'll get Zubats in there, throw him in there for fun.
A nice little scrub in there.
That team would be ridiculously filthy.
Do you think they'll ever do it? I hope they do it at some point. I think if any team were to do it, it would be Dallas. Dallas would get it done. Mark Cuban will get it done.
Mark Cuban would get it done.
Yeah, he's the guy who's gonna get it done.
He's made it pretty clear how he feels about European players.
Yo, and KP's been not the greatest, and they're
he's
shopping
great
him.
when
They
he's
shopped him a
playing.
bit. They shopped him a bit.
He's
they
great
want to
when
see his
he's
market
playing.
value. Oh, add KP on there. Why not? Off the bench, who cares?
Yeah.
But if a team were to do it, it would have to be the Mavs. There's no doubt about it, and I hope that happens at some point. That'd be pretty cool to watch. Like we saw some cool guys team up last night in the All-Star game, and it'd be sick. It would just be a sick thing for the league, I think.
So, what are your predictions heading into the second half of the season, given what we've seen? Because we've seen a lot, man. Like, this first half of the season feels like an entire season. Because you have the first half of the year where all the lower-end teams were all at the top, and then the top teams were at the bottom. And then now we've seen a switch.
Yeah.
And then in the East, between like 4 and 10, it's very tight.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your predictions heading in, man? What are you thinking? Do you think it's going to stay this way in terms of like East-West, or are there going to be many changes in the playoff picture?
I think in the East, I think Brooklyn's going to finish number 1. I think Brooklyn's going to overtake the Sixers at number 1. They're only really a game behind, about half a game behind. And you add BG, who's going to get acclimated pretty quickly and doesn't have the biggest role in the world. So I think he's gonna kill it. But as far as the rest of it goes, I think the Raptors.
It's gonna be tough.
I think they finish 7th or 8th in the East. I think they're.
It'll come down to like 7th and 8th will have probably the same record as 4th.
Yeah,
and it'll just be head-to-head stats.
The problem is the Heat are healthy now. And they've risen back up into the standings. They're
in rhythm right now.
So and they've been missing Jimmy, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson's in and out. So they've been missing a lot of guys, and now they're fully healthy. They're gonna put on a big string of wins. So they're gonna move up, maybe even past the Knicks. So it's gonna be a tight race in that.
I want the Knicks in the playoffs. If that's one thing that I want this year, is I want the Knicks to make the playoffs. I think Julius deserves it. The city deserves it.
Oh, Julius, let's go,
anytime
bro.
the Knicks are in the playoffs, it's just fun. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait till the crowds are back. And I think once the playoffs start, there's no way you're going to keep people out of MSG.
There's no chance. You're
not going to keep people out
all
of
the arenas
MSG.
are slowly filling up, and they're allowing more. Raptors just allowed
Tampa's allowing 3,500.
Right? Yeah.
They're going to be 3,500 more away fans to just add to our season of being away. So it sucks.
How about the West? The West.
Yeah. Phoenix.
Are.
Do you think Phoenix continues this into the second half of the year? They're hot, bro.
They're hot. I think
they started out 8-8, and since then, what are they? What's their record now? Yeah, they're like 16-3.
I think they'll keep it up, especially with the Lakers having
16
AD.
and 3.
Lakers having AD out is going to hinder them for a while. Clippers still trying to figure it out. So I think the Jazz keep on this. Like,
how about the Blazers? What about Dame? Yeah, we never even talked about Dame for MVP.
He is a big MVP candidate. Yeah, you're right.
We gotta give him some consideration. He's winning. They're 5th place in the West without CJ McCollum. I don't want to hear it. They're like 10 games above 500. What's their record? 21-11?
21-17? If I'm wrong. Sorry. 21-14.
21-14?
They're close.
7 games above 500 without CJ McCollum in the lineup at all.
Yeah, it's a good consideration.
Dame is literally one man teaming. So
yeah,
that's a call. I would not be upset at all if Dame got the MVP. He's having
that'd be pretty cool. I like that
a breakout season, MVP season. But do you think that they can carry this into the year? Because right now, Spurs, Mavs, Warriors, Nuggets, those are like the floating 6 to 8, 6 to 9 teams.
Yeah, I don't think they'll. The Nuggets maybe will surpass them. Can surpass them, I think, because we know what they can do when they're good. So that might be their competition. The Spurs are having a very low key season. DeMar DeRozan
got robbed.
Low key snub for the All-Star game. So
they threw Conley in there over DeMar DeRozan.
Oh yeah.
Why is Conley getting veteran treatment?
You know,
he's a nice guy.
I think he said somewhere he's like, oh yeah, if I don't get it this year, I probably will never get it. I think he had said that. I heard that somewhere.
Why are fans speaking about him like he deserves to be GOATed? Like, oh, he's been fantastic, top 5 point guard in the West.
No, yeah,
top 5 point guard in the West.
For a guy who's been underrated, they got over him now. That's the way you make it up, I guess.
Top 5 point guard in the West, bro.
No, not at all. No.
When?
Listen, there's no harm in giving it to him. Let him have it. Let him have that All-Star.
I just don't understand why he's being GOATed. Like, he's a nice guy, sure. But he did not deserve it over DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I agree with that one.
He's statistically not an all-star. And I'm sorry, Utah, you don't deserve 3.
First in the NBA. Sometimes you get 3. It happens. That's part of it. Part of it. They usually, facts, but that's how it is. That's how the NBA works, bro. It's not all about the performance.
Philly got 0, so none of them showed up.
Yeah, but that's
only
not
the coach
choice.
showed up. So
that's amazing. The coach showed up.
Yeah, I'm excited for the second half of the year. I'm just excited for basketball to come back. Eventually the playoffs as well. Hopefully, freaking Brooklyn. I'm rattled. I don't want to talk about it.
I told you, bro.
You know where to find us, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you follow and like pictures. We're there.
Yeah.
So you come find us.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Comment on it. Like it.
Hit right here. Right here. All right. We'll come at you next episode.